What's up, you guys? Alright, we are in Sparks, Nevada. You might have seen my last video about do not swap list, is what I called it. Alright, so I'm here in Sparks at the Golden State Travel Plaza. Let me see, is that the... You need to send your reefer status check in. I just sent it right now. They probably crossed paths, that's what it was. So I literally just sent it in right now, and like 30 seconds after I sent it, I get that message automatically. So if I didn't send it by the time it was automated.
20 minutes of remaining drive time.
All right, so we're gonna PC up the street to the receiver. Should be a relatively short video here, I would imagine. I don't know. I'm not sure there's too much here I can talk about, and it's a short trip up there, so. It's just a couple miles up the street here that we're already off of. Circle around this guy though. Alright, so this is a load of frozen foods that I picked up at the Americold Frozen facility in Belvedere, Illinois. It's got a lot of, pretty much any, well, I know it's got frozen pies and like frozen dessert kind of stuff, I guess I would say, or I think there was some kind of bread in there also. I didn't look at all of the pages of the BOL, but let's see what this car is doing. Nice turn signal, you piece of shit. I could have gone out there if I'd known you were going to turn. Your dumbass didn't have your turn signal on though, so I had to assume you were coming through. Just because most cars turn into here doesn't mean they all do. Alrighty, so on my way over from Belvedere, I ended up getting my left steer tire replaced. The tire itself as a whole was okay. Should have been fine with wear. But there was one flat spot on it. I'm gonna see what this car over here on the left is doing. They're not going, oh, there we go. I'm going to say they're not going that fast, but at the same time they could come through the intersection, and don't want to be causing a conflict when it's not even my right of way. Alright, so like I said, there was one spot on the tire that had a flat spot, and it was getting to the point where I was getting a little bit concerned that I was going to start showing steel body before long, and put me at high risk of a steer tire blowout, which is one of the worst things you can have in a truck. So I ended up getting that tire replaced. However, when he was changing the tire, he ended up finding out my disc brakes, because I have disc brakes on my front axle, not my steer axles. Turned out the brake pad on the inner half was worn all the way down, so I need to get that replaced. He was going to change it there, but I guess it was starting to rub on the rotor. And disc brakes are a pain in the ass to inspect when when you have a tire installed. You really can't see much of anything. All you can do is maybe feel. I even bought an inspection mirror a while back, specifically so I could check the brakes for wear, the disc brakes for wear, because we get a lot of trailers in our fleet also that the newer trailers that we have all have disc brakes as well, and it's really can't tell how worn they even are. Yeah, I don't go through brakes very much at all. In fact, I got 880,000 miles on this truck. I had, 263 or, I don't know, somewhere in the upper 200 range when I first got the truck. I would imagine it was like 263 because the log miles don't jive with what I thought I first got the truck with. So, anyway, yeah, I've never changed the brakes on this truck yet. The steer axle brakes definitely need to be changed, and he was going to change the brake for me there, but he didn't have a rotor to go with it. He said he would have to order it from the dealer. So I said, well, just, honestly, I would have rather him go ahead and change the pads anyway, and if I need a new rotor, I need a new rotor, but at least give me new brake pads. So, there's not much, there's less risk of problems in between now and, or between then and when I can actually get my my brakes replaced. I mean my rotor replaced. But on the other hand, gonna have to pay that. Now this is a wild Mustang right here, by the way. You're gonna see a lot of those up here. Normally, I sometimes see them here in this field, but I especially see them up the street a little further. Alright, so I am on a 34-hour reset, per se. I have about 620 to work with on my 70-hour clock right now. I got here... Yeah, I got shut down the street there with 129 left on my 70. That was after doing my post trip, and I think I got 450 or something like that back today, or 450 something, I don't know. But not enough to run a full shift. However, by the time I get through, delivering here. It's possible I could end up rolling right into my recap. So, do I technically need the 34? Not really, but my appointment time here is at 1400. I'll have a 34 complete around 1745, I think it was, just before 1800 tonight. So, not even 4 hours after my appointment time. I'll probably be here a few more hours after, before a 34 will be done. And then I'll have a fresh clock to work with. I don't have a reload yet. I know my DM, I made sure she was aware that I'll have a 34 done at 1800. And she let the planner know as well. So hopefully by the time I leave here, I'll have a pre-plan that I can give you guys info about, but I don't know for sure. Almost all the time, though, we end up deadheading into California from here. Once in a blue moon, you might end up getting a reload of onions out of Urrington, Nevada. Yeah, that's down there off of US 97 alternate, just about 50 miles south of here. I have picked up there before, but I'm not really expecting that'll be where I'll pick up. I'll probably end up going across Donner Pass into Sacramento, and then who knows where from there. It could be down to Salinas, could be all the way down to Central Cal for a cheese load, or never know. I've even picked up in I want to say like in Marysville, Yuba City area once for a Gerber load that went to Fort Smith, Arkansas. Sometimes you get some weird stuff like that, but I don't really expect it that line. We'll see. Anyway, we got a bit of a line here at the guard shack, so don't need to make the video excessively long for you guys, because you guys know I'm pretty good about rambling and making the videos maybe a little bit longer than necessary. So how about we continue this when I get through checking in here and we're ready to go dock in. Alright guys, we're all checked in now. It is 13:31. And I got door 337. It'll be pretty far away from the shipping office or receiving office, whatever you want to call it. I'm not surprised. That's usually in the ballpark where I do dock in when I'm here. So something else so on my Facebook page now. Just FYI, if you guys are on Facebook, if you want to follow some of my stuff on there, I do post publicly regularly on purpose. I post it publicly on purpose. So that way, a lot of my content can be seen by people who don't necessarily want to be friends, but want to maybe follow what I'm up to or certain other stuff that might be of interest. Usually I'll post stuff on there that I'll post it as friends only if it's something like maybe pictures of my family or something like that. Or something I just don't necessarily want the entire world to see. Yeah, it's very easy to change the setting on that. But anyway, yesterday I put up a public post That showed what kind of miles I got throughout the quarter and the second quarter of this year, and what this current quarter's what kind of start I'm off to this quarter. So you might want to take a look at that one, or actually, you know what? Why not? I probably even because this is going to be a relatively shorter video anyway. I might go ahead and just add it in here once we get through docking in. But long story short here, I only ran just over 7,000 miles in April, and that had a lot to do with the fact that I did not run any miles at all for 10 consecutive days because of my truck being in the shop, and ended up going to a loaner truck. And between once my truck was ready and needing to work out, doing the logistics of that, getting the loaner truck turned in, and and also I think medical appointments or whatever, wreaked havoc on my ability to get into any kind of a groove at all that month. 7,000 miles in that month is terrible. Normally I can do 7,100 miles in just 2 weeks. So, or maybe even just a hair over 2 weeks, depending on how the week goes. But so not a good. Let me see. I'll let this guy get all the way in first because I think he's good, but I want to hear his brakes set. I think he's good. Yeah, we got enough room here. I was concerned about blocking him his reset if I came in over here, and so I was expecting to have to open my doors, or plan on opening my doors while I'm still sideways, but all this room I'm going to go ahead and just line up with my door first. I'll get backed in far enough. Oops, I'm about half a door off. Actually, most of a door off. So, okay. I can get my doors open without blocking the lane here. Plenty of room here, so. The tandem's over there where I need them first. Now I'll chase it with the drive tires. I think I might be a tad late there. Well, that actually looks good. Looks really good. All right, let me get the trailer doors open. Bump the dock here and disconnect from the trailer. I just discovered one reason why to not open the doors like when I'm lined up with it like this. See that wheel chock there? Well, over on the passenger side, wheel chock over there. I'm swinging my trailer, my other door around. You might have seen that, and I damn near tripped over that wheel chock. Last step before we check in, pull forward away from the trailer. Looks like this guy is going to back in next to me. So something you might want to be more aware of too there is wheel chocks relative to where you're positioned if you're going to open your doors in front of your dock door like I did. Okay, I will talk more. I'm gonna get checked in real quick, and then I'll talk some more about how those quarterly and monthly miles worked out, a little more details on that yeah, I can nerd it up on, whatever. Then we'll dock out after that. Okay, guys, I'm checked in now. Let's go ahead and finish talking about the number nerd kind of stuff I was talking about earlier. So like I say, I don't think I got about 7,100 miles for the month of April, something like that. Now, JCT, we get a quarterly safety bonus. The criteria to get that is to run at least 30,000 miles in the quarter. Don't get any tickets or accidents or violations, that kind of stuff, whatever. Can't remember if log violations is part of that also, but definitely no DOT related stuff. As long as you can meet all those criteria, they'll give you a 2 cent per mile safety bonus for whatever miles you ran in that quarter. And it's dispatched miles during the quarter, so it doesn't really matter when it picks up or when it delivers. It's when you get dispatched onto the load in question. Because actually, over the course of the quarter, I ended up logging physically 32,000 and change, I believe it was. But as far as what I'm going to get for safety bonus next month, or later this month actually, will actually be 34,000 and change, because I don't remember if it was the load prior to the quarter starting or the last load in the quarter, whatever. I might have been dispatched on it before July started or something. I don't know, but some kind of miles that were in excess of what I actually logged, I got dispatched onto at some point, either too late for the previous one, or a little bit early, just on time to. Anyway. So 7,100 miles in April sucks. That might be one of my worst months ever. I don't know for sure. It's probably pretty far down there though. It might have been one other month somewhere. Maybe January of last year. I would venture a guess might have been in the same ballpark. But needless to say though, it didn't stop me from getting my 30,000. In April, I ended up running 12,800 and some odd miles, I think it was, and I had, out of 31 possible days there, I logged miles on 28 of them. And get this, so for those of you guys who think you have to super truck to get good miles, no you don't. Just be efficient with your time management. This is a good example of it. Now, try to always be set up where you can run toward a reload as soon as you're done delivering the previous load. When you have to take 10-hour breaks in conjunction with your deliveries, and then wait until you can, wait until you finish the 10 before you can get rolling again, that's where you can get slowed down. Also, thinking about where your 10s are, or how long your trips are as well. There are times I will run 700 miles in a shift. Normally I don't do it unless I have some kind of ulterior motive, like, hey, if I run 700, then I can avoid having to do an extra 10-hour break that I don't want to take. Or maybe I'm 700 miles away from my house and think that I can get there if I run hard. And I'd rather do my 10-hour break at home than somewhere else not too far away from there. So that might be another reason why I'll tend to run 700 plus. But I don't just run 700 plus just because I can. Generally, I try to shoot for about 660. Somewhere in that ballpark, give or take about 20 in either direction normally. And that seems to be like a really happy spot for me, where it's not running too hard in that shift, and not, but I still feel like I'm doing enough. However, you're going to look at these logs here, and you're going to see that only 7, I think it was, out of the 28 days that I ran at all in May were for more than 600 miles, let alone 700. So that's going to make you like, damn, that's all you do. That's not even impressive. Well, no, I'm not expecting it to be. But when you're running close to 13,000 miles in a month, you're running some really quality numbers. JCT will be very happy with you if you're running those kind of numbers per month. I guarantee that. And you're going to be like top 10%. Now, my buddy Ryan, who I talk about him sometimes here on the channel, he's got his own channel, Handy's, here on YouTube. He tends to run more miles than I do, so if he were to post something, he'd probably show you that he's logging even more miles than I do, even taking similar time off and stuff. So I'm not going to say I'm the best runner in the world, and but you could argue that, hey, if you get your numbers up, well, I can't get my numbers up if the loads that I'm on don't allow me to get my numbers up, because there are a lot of times where I'm sitting around waiting for an appointment time and I cannot deliver early, or maybe I have to wait for my load to be ready at a shipper. You never know. So some of the stuff is beyond my control there. But either way, like I said, 12,000 plus miles a month, you're in really good shape. And I say I only ran 600 plus miles in the same calendar day 7 times that entire month, I believe. It's not much at all, really. It doesn't sound like it's definitely nothing that would impress a lot of the solar powered drivers who only run during the day shift hours. And that's something else to keep in mind there is when I run, I do a lot of night shift driving, so a lot of my shifts overrun midnight. So I could run a 700 mile shift, but it'll look like only 300 of it was on one, like I might have only ran 300 miles on one calendar day, even though I ran a 700 mile shift, but it'll be 300 on one day and 400 on the next day. And then depending on what time I get moving on at the end of my 10-hour break or whatever kind of break I'm taking that day, it could come out to not even 500 miles, could come out to 500 plus, could up to 600 plus. Or there's one day there, and you might see in the June report, June numbers, ran 27 days in June. Remember, there's one less day in June to work with than there is in May. June has 30 days, May has 31. So I only ran 27 days total in June, and I was a little bit less on the miles, 12,007 something, if I recall, but my daily with the miles that I did log on the days that I actually did log anything, I was actually higher in June than I was in May. I believe it was like 458 or something like that per day average in May, and I think 471 if I remember right, or 473 or something like in that ballpark for the month of June. So like I say, a lot of you guys, that might not really sound too impressive, but again, you don't have to run 700 plus mile shifts to get a really good quality month. If you want to run that way, great. But you don't have to do that to get definitely a high quality month out of it. All right, that's all I mean by that. All right, now going to the July month. It's just started, so just over a weekend, but you'll see that I actually ran just close to 4,100 miles in just I think it was 8 or 9 days or whatever it was. I can't remember. Very high quality week. I took home time at the end of the month, June 30 through July 2nd for medical appointments or just time with family to relax. And I got moving again on the 3rd of July, and I ran my 70-hour clock out to 129 left on it. And so it was definitely a good quality week, and I'm going to give my DM and the planners credit for that as well. I'm going to have to give myself credit on the first part of it, because I asked for a Toma, Wisconsin load when I had other options available, and they were giving me, the weekend planner gave me several loads of options to work with, and I was like, oh, I like Toma. Even though I had a ton of extra time on that load, I still, did that, and then did this load and completely ran out my clock before I could even do it. I'm still going to need a 34, so even sitting for like a whole day in Toma, technically, still out of hours. So definitely a high quality week this week, outside of the maintenance annoyance kind of stuff, but it is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and shut up for here, and we'll press on with some more footage here when it's time to dock out. And again, I don't want to have this video too long. Somewhere in a 30-minute range, maybe even 40-minute, I think would be ideal. Nothing excessively long, but not necessarily so short that there's like, okay, no insightful stuff or entertainment or nothing useful, or I don't know. All right, so we'll see you in a minute here. Alright guys, we're all done here. We got hooked up. I don't know if my camera was able to show that there, but this guy, you can see at least the front end of him, I'm sure of, through the camera. Actually, yeah, looking at my display, it looks like you probably were able to see a little bit there. This guy was having difficulty getting his seal broke. Now mind you, as a reminder, don't block the lane to open your, to break your seal and open your doors if you don't actually have to be blocking it. This guy's, this other guy over here, his backing setup probably got affected a little bit by that. Looked like somebody also lost one of their lug nut caps. This guy has a few of them on his steer axle. I'm wondering if that might be his. So I'm gonna get hooked up and see if that might be his. And yeah, we'll get out of here in a second. I'm going full forward just a hair. I'm certain my trailer is empty, but I'm gonna, as a usual standard practice, I just want to double check it.
You have 6 hours and 20 minutes of remaining drive time. You have 6 hours and 20 minutes of remaining drive time.
Alright guys, we're on a roll here. Yeah, and this is why I say don't block the damn lane to open and close your doors if you don't need to. Now this yard jockey was able to get by, but I can't until he moves. Now he and I both could have done what we want to do at the same time had he decided to move his doors somewhere. Oh, I think that guy already, I thought he was already docked in earlier. I don't know. But yeah, that's one of the pet peeves I have. You'll always hear me gripe about it. To me, it's so what if you lose a minute or two of your time waiting for that, but the concern is the respect or lack of shown for your fellow driver. That's what my issue with it is. I could care less if I have to take an extra minute or so, but is it an extra minute or so that it's only because you don't give a shit about anybody else but yourself, or because it's a necessary evil? There's two different things there, and that's just not necessary what he did there. So that's why I complain about that kind of thing. Okay, so this guy here walking right now, he was the one I was helping. When I walked back to my truck, I could see that he was having difficulty with his seal. So I come up and ask him if he needed help. And he goes, yeah, he wanted to know if I had something to cut a cable seal with. And I go, yeah, I got my bolt cutters work just fine on that. So put my bills away, grab my, come on dude, which way are you going? I'm trying to get out of the hostler's way, and meanwhile this forklift operator is coming right toward my path. Alright, so anyway, yeah, he was trying to use a pair of diagonal cutters, it looked like. Something along that line, and he was fraying it. He's eventually going to get it, but it was definitely taking a lot longer to do than could have been done if you had some dedicated wire cutters or bolt cutters. I use bolt cutters, although I think wire cutters might be even better. I don't know. I don't have actual wire cutters, or cable cutters. I mean, I should call it a cable cutter. No, I used to work with cable cutter a lot when I was an aircraft mechanic, but being a trucker, usually if I have a cable seal, usually my bolt cutters that I use to cut bolt seals with works just fine. All right, right lane is one we want. I just got to go around the scale before I get over there. Alright, it is about 15:30 right now, so about an hour and a half after my appointment time. Maybe a couple hours after I got here. It was a pull-in fax delivery, as a lot of times these Walmart loads for us are. Makes it a little bit quicker if they do it, if it's being run just right. And this particular Walmart does tend to be one of my favorites to deliver to, because they do actually tend to be faster. Even if it's not a pull-in fax. Alright, so I'll give my my gate pass here and get out of here. Alright, we'll get out of here. Okay, so I was hoping to get a pre-plan by now, but nothing came in yet. So, and I'm going to want to get fuel before I go into California, because it's highly likely I'll be going into Cali for my next load. I just don't know where exactly in Cali. I'm going to probably want to get my fuel from right here at Golden State Travel Plaza, so I will probably park my truck there again and call it a day, and then maybe run nighttime hours into California. Even if I don't get a pre-plan today, there's a pretty good chance I'll just go ahead and after my 34's up, maybe later tonight when it's quiet and cooler and all that, run across Donner Pass, and I don't know, we'll figure out where to shut down. Maybe Lodi or somewhere because I can always stop at the Blue Beacon in Lodi, get my trailer washed out, park my truck there at one of the truck stops there, and wait for further instructions, whether to go towards Salinas from there, or toward Lemoore or Tulare, or somewhere else. I don't know. Highly likely, though, that that's the direction I'll be going. Slight chance, like I said, I could end up rolling toward Yerington. And I'm only a little over 2 hours away from completing a 34, so a little bit frustrating that I don't have a pre-plan yet, so I can get rolling immediately and know exactly which direction to go. I mean, like I said, I know it's 95% chance that I'm going to at least go towards Sacramento, but that's only 150 miles from here. Where from there, I mean, like I said, I could end up going to Salinas, or could end up going somewhere else. I'm a little bit reluctant to go past Sacramento without knowing more, though. This guy's going to block me. Watch, let me get over here now before he does. So I want to make a left turn at this light here, and I don't need him blocking me from getting over there. Oh, not you again. I don't even touch. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you just stay that way. I don't want to hear that low coolant warning. Now this looks more like a drop yard now, but I regularly have always seen trucks parking there. I saw trucks parked there yesterday when I got into town, but nothing there now, and so it makes me wonder. Well, of course, they're not so likely to park there when there's spots available over here anyway. Yeah, I see a spot over there by the CTI truck. The spot I vacated earlier actually looked like it might still be open. Let's see. Yeah, still available, and it's the same, still the same trucks parked on both sides of it that were here when I left. Abbreviate, modified straight back. Make sure I know where I'm at. Well, yeah, I'm fine there. Just want to get a gauge on where I am, how far I am from him. It's the back end of this heavy hauler. I had to make sure I was that I'd give myself room to work with to stay clear of him too. Yeah, we're good. Way good here. Alright, let's say this should be fairly short and easy. Yeah. I found this sitting in the lane in front of my dock door just now. I don't know if you saw that. It did not belong to the guy I was helping, even though he has lug nut covers and he's missing some, but it's not this particular design. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss that. I just didn't want to run it over myself. Alright, anyway. I'll plan on refueling right here before I pick up whatever load I'm going to pick up. And I said, I wish I'd have better, be able to tell you which way I'm going from here, but yeah, don't know. So I can't give you that info, unfortunately. So with that, let's say, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. As always, probably should be definitely a shorter one for you guys compared to what you're used to seeing from me, and I'm sure some of you guys will appreciate that. So, alright, I will call this one a day, and we'll see you probably somewhere in California on the next video, okay? You all have a great day, and thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.